Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day wherever we are around the world. Welcome back to yet another Liverpool news episode for you guys this evening. Of course, we've already been live once tonight, talking mainly about Florian Wirtz, but we are here to discuss, of course, the rest of the Liverpool news. And look, we do have a here we go, not only, of course, on Florian Wirtz, but we will be talking and discussing Milos Kerkez. Now, of course, you guys might have seen already, but again, we will be talking about Florian Wirtz. Again, like we spoke about earlier, we are going to discuss Milos Kerkez. There is a here we go concerning Milos Kerkez, and we'll dive a bit more into that a bit later on. And of course, we're going to be talking about Marc Guehi as well, of course, with the whole Drell Konza news. Looking like he's going to go to Bayer Leverkusen. It now looks like that Liverpool might end up bidding for Marc Guehi as well. So we will discuss that a bit later on, of course, as well. But again, let me know how all of you are down in the comment section down below. If you're on your own here, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts down below on everything we do talk about in tonight's episode anyway. But big up Ozan, saying long time no see. Yeah, apologies, I was 15 minutes late because I had to run down my local shop very, very quickly before it closed because I forgot one or two things that I did need. But Florian Friday feelings as well, yeah, absolutely. Can't change the LFC shirt. No, I had this on earlier on. But yeah, it may look a bit different, but no, I definitely wear the same top as I was wearing earlier on anyway. But we are going to kickstart the show then talking about Marc Guehi and the bid that could soon be coming in for him. Now, Dave O.C. Kopp, who's been very reliable this season, or this summer, I should say, for the transfer news, of course, and did break the Marc Guehi news yesterday, saying Liverpool are expected to make a move for Marc Guehi once a fee can be agreed. As revealed in March, Liverpool held a number of discussions over a potential move. Liverpool have their work done before Konza's departure, which I think the biggest question mark going around the whole Marc Guehi conversation and the whole structure around it at the moment is, of course, how much will he cost. Now, there's been different reports since yesterday regarding how much he'll cost for Liverpool. Some people are suggesting it's going to cost 35 million pounds for Liverpool to replace Drell Konza with Marc Guehi. But then there's other reports suggesting that Crystal Palace want around 50 to 55, and even some reports suggesting 60 million pounds as well. Now, do I think it's going to be 60 million pounds worth? No, I really don't. I think, look, 1 year left on his contract. Yes, he is England's number one centre half. Yes, he's Crystal Palace's captain. But I think there is quite clearly a thought process of Marc Guehi will be leaving Crystal Palace this summer. Again, Palace have already accepted this with them going after Ousmane Diomande. I know one of you guys yesterday was put in the chat how much would Crystal Palace buy Diomande for, and I think that at the moment that's the kind of deal at the present moment in time that will hold Marc Guehi to Liverpool back a little bit, because again, how much do Crystal Palace buy Diomande for? I know plenty of people, obviously, if anybody plays Football Manager, I think plenty of people wanted Liverpool to go out and buy Diomande. But again, I think Marc Guehi is a very, very smart bit of business from Liverpool. Again, homegrown, 24 years of age, plenty of experience in terms of for Palace, of course, FA Cup winner, man of the match, or I say man of the match, was player of the tournament, wasn't he, for England in last summer's Euros as well. So, or in the last European competition. So for me, I think the jump from the two, I think, again, it's great, the fact that Liverpool have put themselves in this category of going out to sign the best possible out there in terms of Marc Guehi, which I think, again, he is probably the best defender, homegrown anyway, that you can go out and get. Because I think some people kind of forget we do have to buy some homegrown talent. Of course, Liverpool have alternatives, and we're going to talk mainly about one alternative for Liverpool that has been mentioned as well in terms of centre half. But I think what is interesting is in terms of Marc Guehi, again, there was rumours back, I want to say about a year and a half ago, that Marc Guehi had decided he wanted to join Liverpool. Now, whether or not there was a discussion there already, like we've known about Liverpool working on deals for the last 12 months in terms of, again, getting Florian Wirtz over the line, Frimpong as well. It was pretty much known since around March time that Liverpool were going to go for him as well. And I wonder whether or not there is that same type of deal with, Marc Guehi, where you look at teams like Newcastle, you look at Spurs as well, that also put in bids for him, but there was no real confirmation whether or not Marc Guehi would want to join either one. Now, we know, obviously, the Newcastle situation. I think we're pretty much aware that Marc Guehi wanted to go to Newcastle and was trying to force a move, but with the Spurs move back in January, I don't think there was any confirmation if Marc Guehi wanted to join, really. But I think there's so much Marc Guehi offers to Liverpool. Again, as Ozan says below, can play both left-sided centre half and right-sided centre half as well. Which again, that's something like Liverpool wants. We've seen the report saying that Liverpool wants a left-sided centre half, which again, with the person I'm about to mention in a moment, that would fill that gap really. But I think with Marc Guehi, it's quite similar to Joe Gomez, who can play all across the back line. I think that is a very good option for Liverpool, because for me, I think Marc Guehi could even play right back for Liverpool if he wanted to be a bit more defensive, similar to like how Liverpool was in 2017, when we seen Joe Gomez pretty much playing every single big game at right back for Liverpool, certainly against like teams like Arsenal and Manchester City. Again, you could quite clearly see that Marc Guehi could maybe do that for Liverpool. But again, when I talk about alternatives, again, one alternative name that is coming up for Liverpool is Luke Yeaber. Now, we reported, what was it, back 2 years ago, about 2.5 years ago, of Liverpool's interest for Luke Yeaber. I think when he just moved to Leipzig, of course, in the Bundesliga, there was plenty of talk around Luke Yeaber for a couple of years, wasn't it? Suggesting that Liverpool and many other teams in Europe would be interested in him. But as far as we do know, Lewis Steele, of course, it is taken from Anfield Sector. So big up to them guys, saying, of course, Luke Yeaber of Leverkusen could be one to watch. I think it's clear Liverpool have kept an eye on him. Liverpool have had scouts at many Leipzig games this season, and that is coming from Lewis Steele as well. So I look at it and go, for me, I think 100% Luke Yeaber would be a fantastic signing for Liverpool. Once again, very versatile, can play a left-sided centre-half, can play as a left-back. Again, if Liverpool want to be a bit more defensive-minded on the left-hand side, similar like we just spoke with Marc Guehi on the right-hand side. And look, of course, Liverpool with French defenders, I have a pretty good track record recently, of course, with Ibou Konate. But I do think with Luke Yeaber, of course, it's going to cost way more than what it currently does with Marc Guehi. Of course, there's a conversation around his release clause, which is around £67 million, which, again, are Liverpool about to spend that on Luke Yeaber? I don't necessarily think so. Whether or not there is, room there for a potential deal is another question, because again, we know, just looking from the outside in, when it comes to when it comes to, for example, like Benjamin Sesko, there's conversations around there that Leverkusen has changed the price for him, so many times throughout the season, all throughout the summer, I should say, at the moment. I wonder whether or not they would want, a certain deal. Of course, Liverpool and Leipzig have a very good working relationship, because, again, deals like Fabio Carvalho going on loan a couple of seasons ago, Dominic Szoboszlai, Ibou Konate, for example. Again, the track record's pretty good between Liverpool and, of course, the Red Bull group. But I just wonder whether or not with Luke Yeaber, when we talk about homegrown as well, I think on paper, I think Luke Yeaber does have the potential to become better than Marc Guehi, but I think for the player that we're going to get for Marc Guehi, and in terms of, again, can play everywhere, well, not everywhere, but can play two centre-back roles and right back, and again, homegrown, which I think is a huge, underestimated thing. I do think Liverpool might push for Marc Guehi, but do keep an eye on Luke Yeaber as well, because again, he's a very good centre-half, and if there is wiggle room there in terms of the price tag, I do think Liverpool will act upon that as well. But luckily, it'll be another Bundesliga signing for Liverpool again anyway. But big up Tassa as well, saying, Ozan, we could play Guehi goalkeeper if you'd like as well. Yeah, because Ozan, pretty much the James Milner role. That's what Marc Guehi's been brought in to do as well. But I think one interesting thing as well with the whole Marc Guehi situation as well is, I think it was Lewis Steele as well, also talking about it earlier on when he was speaking on, Marc Guehi wants to leave Palace only if he's guaranteed minutes and guaranteed playing time, which at Liverpool, he pretty much is guaranteed minutes, because, look, he's going to be getting game time for Ibu. Again, Liverpool will rotate. Of course they will, because, we can't overly rely on, someone like Ibu Konate, because, again, he does get injured. He's been kind of good and fortunate this season just gone, but over the previous seasons, we have seen where Ibu has been injured. Like, he'll have, 3-4 months spell of non-injuries, and then we'll have that 1 month when he's out in a crucial time. And I think for Liverpool, I think certainly for Arne Slot as well, he doesn't want to have that gap, like last season where he didn't trust Drell Conza as much. If he brings in that replacement, again, it's not like if then, for example, we don't have to overplay certain players. Like, we won't have to overplay Ibu, we won't have to overplay Virgil van Dijk, like in the long run for next season, which I think that's something as well that Liverpool, I think, will plan for, because you look at the previous season just gone, Liverpool had the league wrapped up, didn't we, with weeks to go, months to go even. And we kind of did take our foot off the gas with 12 weeks to go, really, if we're talking real sense. But Liverpool next season might have to go the distance. And if we can bring in Marc Guehi, who will then add to the quality to the squad, but also push the likes of Virgil van Dijk and Ibu Konate, that will make the team better. And also, again, we'll take minutes away from Konate and Van Dijk, where, again, Marc Guehi could add to that and help Liverpool in the long run. Because if we do have to go right until the last day of the season to go on and win a Premier League title again, look, that's what we want to do. We want to, be 100% the entirety of the season and not have a drop off where maybe at times this time or this season, there was, a little bit towards the end of the season where, like, if we were in a proper title race or like a title race that was going to the end of the season, then yeah, we may have had to adjust a little bit. But I think, again, having a player like Marc Guehi or Luke Yeaber would be very, very good, either way. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. If you are new, of course, do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button anyway. But Ozan says 21-7 coming, Connor. I hope so. I very much hope so, with the players that we have bought or going to buy, of course, as well. But Tassa saying, I have a feeling Guehi is coming in to replace Konate when he leaves towards the end of the transfer window, or even worse, for free at the end of the season. I think it's an interesting one. I think, look, everybody has that thought process at the minute. I do think, though, us signing him means that Ibu's staying, because I think Liverpool would splash the cash for a centre-half. Like, again, the whole conversations around Isak at the minute are being flown around because, again, Liverpool think there's a chance to get him. I think if Liverpool thought Ibu was going to leave, because, again, the last thing we heard about the whole Ibu Konate situation was that there'd been positive talks before the end of the season. Now, what I personally think is that there will be a deadline at some point this summer where Liverpool say to him and his agent, like, look, we need to discuss, are you going to leave, or are you going to leave now, or are you going to sign the contract? Because look, Liverpool are not going to do the same as what they did with Trent. They're not going to allow Ibu to go on a free. Now, will Liverpool let people leave for free if they do end up staying? Yes, 100%. I do think the idea is to let go of, for example, like an Andy Robertson, for example. I don't think Robbo's getting a new contract. Whether or not Robbo leaves in the summer will be another question, obviously with Atletico Madrid involved. But I currently look at it and go, well, for me, I think he will leave the club now. But also I look at it and go, well, if he stays, again, he's going to compete with Milos Kerkez. But also, I think next season will be his last year for Liverpool. I don't think Robbo's going to re-sign for us, because I think Liverpool have that fresh point now of like, if it's a player that can get above like 50, 60 million, for example, we will sell. Like, even with Luis Diaz, like, obviously the club have come out and notified the journalist about Liverpool are a bit reluctant to give Lucho a new contract. Now, what the thought process, in my opinion, is we'll keep hold of Luis Diaz for one more season and then sell him on next year. Or again, if Luis Diaz has an unbelievable season, I think then there might be question marks about him getting a new contract. But I think Liverpool, you have to kind of give way with certain things, because again, unlike Mo Salah is still performing at the top elite level, where look, a 33-year-old, or 31, 32, 33-year-old, they don't normally get big contracts unless they are the best in the world in their position. Now, Virgil van Dijk is that. Mohamed Salah is also that. Andy Robertson's no longer that. And we've seen it at times this season where Arne Slot has become a bit impatient, and where he's had to rotate with Kostas Tsimikas, which again, we know for a fact that Arne Slot's not really a huge fan of Kostas Tsimikas at times, but still, he's had to do that to try and get, kind of reset Robbo at times this season. Like, again, there was Real Madrid is the perfect game, for example. Like, Liverpool were playing unbelievable in that game, and then Robbo gives away a penalty, which on another night could have been terrible for us. We battered Madrid, didn't we? 1-0 up, Robbo gives away a penalty. That could have easily been 1-1 if it wasn't McAllister. And I kind of look at that and go, well, there's certain mistakes in the season where Robbo has given away stupid penalties, or the red card, for example, like the penalty against Southampton away, the penalty against against Real Madrid, the red card against Fulham. In another season, these are decisions that may have cost us. And again, I love Andy Robertson. I think he's been unbelievable. He's been a tremendous servant for Liverpool, but I think it is the right time for him to move on. But I also am a bit worried about, a backup for Milos Kerkez, because the Liverpool go out and buy a left back, or do they go and get, somebody like a Luke Caber who can play as a left back but also as a centre half? I think Liverpool are more likely to go out and buy another left back than a centre half, hybrid. But again, it does depend on what Arne Slot wants, really. But it will be interesting to see what does happen, at least anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments section down below. Anyway, but what else do we have? Do you have any hope for Amir Nalo? Again, yes and no. Of course, his debut for Liverpool went terribly, didn't it, in the Champions League? But yeah, I think there's still time. And look, we'll see with new players coming through. Like, I think we'll definitely see more players getting more opportunity. Like, again, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, I think Nalo will be given opportunity, same as Rio Nguma, Trainioni, even Jayden Dans potentially. Because again, you're going to have to kind of rebuild him up because of his back injury that happened. Excuse me, that happened in the, happened in January, which cost him 6 months of football, didn't it, or 7 months of football? Which, yeah, like again, because to think he didn't get any time to go to Sunderland neither and really make an impact there, yeah, it was a bit of a shame, really. But he's the captain of the academy squad as well. Yeah, just like Joel Conzold. Yeah, he has huge potential, and again, I think it's quite clear with Arne Slot, if you have potential, you'll be given opportunities. But again, you have to take them opportunities as well. Because again, nothing, unlike maybe what it was like under Jurgen Klopp, where again, once Jurgen saw you and fell in love with you, that would be you in the teams, kind of like what Joel Konza was. But I think Arne Slot is a bit more ruthless in terms of, again, if you don't pull your weight within the team and within the squad, again, you're going to get benched or dropped completely. Really, anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments down below. Anyway, but we will move on then and talk about Milos Kerkez. Of course, we do have a here we go on Milos Kerkez. Finally, a deal has been agreed for him, £40 million, according to, of course, David Ornstein, Fabrizio Romano as well. But again, isn't it great to have finally Milos Kerkez agree, or the deal agreed, I should say, for him and Bournemouth anyway. But taking a look then at David Ornstein's report on it, as you guys can see there, Liverpool reach agreement with Bournemouth to sign Milos Kerkez. Deal for the 21-year-old worth around £40 million. Plus, now on the documentation stage, Hungary international expected to undergo medical next week and join Liverpool from Bournemouth on a 5-year contract, which again is fantastic to hear. Now, if we quickly take a look in the article piece as well, I will quickly get that up for you guys, so we can take a deeper look into what David Ornstein did have to say on the Milos Kerkez stuff. There we go. Let me get that up for you guys. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. So hopefully you guys can see that. As you see there, Liverpool reached Bournemouth agreement of £40 million for Milos Kerkez transfer. Of course, it is from David Ornstein, as you guys can see there. As it does go on to say, Liverpool have reached an agreement with Bournemouth to sign Milos Kerkez in a deal worth around £40 million. A medical is expected to take place next week ahead of the left-back signing a 5-year contract at Anfield, with the deal now moving to the paperwork stage following the club-to-club agreements. Bournemouth have already completed the signing of left-back Adrian Taffert, I think it is. Again, apologies if I butchered names. From Rennes this summer, having also signed Argentinian under-23 international Julia Sella, who again Liverpool did look at one stage in the position for the winter transfer window. The Athletic reported in the deal sheet on June the 3rd that Liverpool were targeting Kerkez following a breakthrough season, or 24-25 season. In March, the 21-year-old Hungary international stated his desire to play at the highest level and contest for silverware. As a kid, you dreamed to play in the highest level, win trophies, be on the best team, Kerkez said. These are the things that my agent is on, my dad is on. It is not something they occupy me with. The season is still going, so there's no point talking about anything, of course. And it does want to say a lot more to do with the whole Kerkez situation, but still, you guys can you guys can go on and read this as well if you wanted to. Either way, but again, great news with the Kerkez stuff. Again, I think it's brilliant news that we've got this over the line finally. It feels like for ages that Liverpool have not got this deal done for some time at least. But again, I think it's great the fact that Liverpool have finally got it announced. I say it finally got announced really, but again, on David Ornstein's piece right there. Let me quickly take that off screen because I did tap it back on. But again, it's great news. We finally have got it done. Again, will be an absolute unbelievable signing for us. I really think again, it's a Robbo regen really. For again the style of player that he is. Again, looking at it now for under 21 fullbacks in Europe. Again, most duels won, most touches won, most progressive actions, most accurate crosses as well. Like again, the list goes on and on and on of the achievements from Milos Kerkez's first season for Bournemouth. And look, it's a great signing. It really, really is. And I think, look, the fact that he's only 21, he'll be Liverpool's left back now for the next 10 years plus, which is amazing. Really, it really, really is. But even Fabrizio Romano as well, adding to it, as you guys can see. But they're saying breaking: Milos Kerkez to Liverpool. Here we go. Plan from May confirmed, as it's all agreed between clubs. £40 million fee, long-term deal. Sorry, and Kerkez set for medical in the coming days. Now, in terms of medical, we know the medical will take place on Monday, and then potentially he will get announced on either Tuesday or Wednesday for Liverpool anyway. But again, great bit of business from us. But Milos Monday, no, we're probably looking at Tuesday or Wednesday, I would say, for Milos Kerkez. Medical is done on Monday. Sorry. It could even be kind of like what Florian Wirtz did. Yesterday Wirtz did the big part of his medical yesterday, and of course did little things today. It could very well be that case again, where does the big thing on Monday, or big part of his medical on Monday. Tuesday does a little few things that he has to do that's required, and then of course Wednesday then it's announced. But yeah, Milos Wednesday, I would say, in my opinion. But it's going to be weird for Frimpong and Kerkez to face their old team in their first Prem games. For us, who did Frimpong play for? Imagine we get Leverkusen as well, but no, I know you mean. This guy as well. Hope he's doing well. The quality of these players is incredible. Feel like it's only gold players we're after. Yeah, it is, absolutely. Again, that's been the phrase, isn't it, for since the start of the season, really, or the start of the summer transfer window, has been that Liverpool are only signing players that can benefit and upgrade the squad. And by the looks of it, at the minute, you've got Mamadashvili, who, again, long-term Alisson replacement. You've got Milos Kerkez, Jeremy Frimpong, Florian Wirtz, to add to that, Marc Guehi potentially as well. Like, again, these are, like, Liverpool are having a 10 out of 10 window. Like, it's probably the first ever 10 out of 10 window Liverpool have had, in a good while. But yeah, it is truly incredible. But I'm really excited to do, obviously, to watch Milos Kerkez more for Liverpool, because I think one thing that many people kind of misinterpret as well, because I've seen people going, "Oh, Liverpool are going to be very attack minded," because obviously you got Frimpong bombing, up and down one side, you've got Kerkez the other side. But I think what people don't necessarily understand or watch, if you watch him for Bournemouth this season, he started quite deep all the time. He wasn't not like what Robbo was, when Robbo would be on the halfway line ready to bomb forward straight away. If you actually watch him, he's actually quite tight to Dean Huijsen. Like, obviously that's who he was playing alongside with. And then, if the opportunity is there to bomb forward, he would do. I think you watch the perfect game to go and watch, if anybody can find the game or whatever, is Spurs away for Milos Kerkez. That's the game where I think he battered Spurs. And not only that, you've got Arsenal away as well. I think that game for him, pretty much. Excuse me, I got hiccups. He completely locked down Bukayo Saka, didn't he? Sorry, chap. I've got bloody hiccups. But yeah, he absolutely shut down Bukayo Saka in that game. And look, for me, he was the best left back in the Premier League last season. And to think he's only 21, that's the mad thing about it. Like, he has plenty of years to go for Liverpool as well. And look, I'm very, very excited to see Milos Kerkez in a Liverpool shirt. I really, really am. And to be fair, I'd be wondering what number he'll take for Liverpool, because I have a feeling he might take number 6 for Liverpool. Not too sure, though. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts down below, of course. But as he's gone off screen, we're going to talk about Florian Wirtz a bit more now anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts on Milos Kerkez as well. But John W. Henry got pissed and sucked on the bus parade and said, I wasn't doing this again. Well, he's not really living up to that expectation at the minute, Ozan, is he? Because, you know, he's if Liverpool get the few players that we think Liverpool are going to get, you know, they're going to definitely win the Premier League again and, you know, go on to hopefully win the Champions League as well. That's the hopeful dream for next season as well. But no, to be fair, I think the overall shock, because again, obviously just before I came on, looking at, you know, people's response to Liverpool signing Florian Wirtz and obviously getting this deal done over the line, and just the overall, like, I think every Liverpool supporter is on cloud nine right now because of how good Florian Wirtz is. You know, he's unbelievable, and just how what's the right word? Like how quick we've been this season in terms of transfers. Like again, we've got, you know, Mamadashvili coming in, which was done last season, but you've got Frimpong, Kerkez, and Wirtz already done. You know, centre halves now looking at in terms of Marc Guehi and other alternatives. But also, again, everybody has said once Liverpool get Kerkez done, get Wirtz and Kerkez done, Liverpool will be going for a striker. Now, that's all we've heard all week, isn't it? Is the fact that Liverpool are going to try for Alexander Isak, or at least people seem to believe Liverpool will go for Alexander Isak. Now, I personally think Liverpool will try something. Now, what that something is, I'm not too sure. Whether or not it's a bid with a player attached to it, you know, like a Harvey Elliott, that's another question potentially. But I also think and look at it and go, well, I don't think it would be him because of PSR. Like again, if Liverpool can get 50 odd million quid for Harvey, then, you know, PSR is no problem then really, because again, that's pure profit. Or of course, whatever we bought the Harvey for from the tribunal, obviously with Fulham, again, the overall price will be, you know, pure profit. But I wonder whether or not, you know, another player might get used, like a Jota even. I think that's a possibility, but again, I'm not too sure. But I think Liverpool will go big for the striker, and I do think it'll either be Alexander Isak or it will be Hugo Ekitike. Either one, I'm happy with. Really, you know, you guys have seen on streams where I've spoke highly on Ekitike, but obviously the creme de la creme striker is Alexander Isak. Of course it is. And look, the whole wasn't of Liverpool are going to pay X amount for him, I think is a very interesting one. Anyway, but to become Liverpool, play. Hope he will success at Liverpool first season. Good luck for that as well, says Saeed. Hope you're doing well, mate. Scout says Maka is only 26 too. Love this core of players, 22 to 24. We will have, yeah, like, and that's the thing. Liverpool, let's take it right. What was it? Was it 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago? You know, Liverpool had an aging squad. You know, we brought in Darwin Núñez. You know, his first season. You know, we had an aging midfield, Thiago, Fabinho, Hendo. You know, there was a lot of dead wood in the club that needed replacing. And now, you look at it, I'd say Liverpool have a young squad that's full of experience, because you look at it now, the majority of Liverpool's midfielders now are winners. Liverpool now have Alexis McAllister, World Cup winner, Premier League winner. So yeah, that's extra experience. Dom Szoboszlai won everything with Leverkusen, obviously apart from the league and the Premier League. Ryan Gravenberch has won trophies every single country he's been to. Florian Wirtz, a part of the unbeaten Leverkusen side, who again was so close to you know, making complete history by having a full undefeated season. But again, Curtis Jones, has won the Premier League twice. Harvey Elliott won the Premier League twice. Did Curtis Jones win a Champions League medal? I don't think he did. But even still, like, not only that, you've also then got quality with the experienced guys that are here, like your Mo Salahs, your Virgil van Dijks, your Alissons. Like, again, it's not the fact that Liverpool are carrying anyone. Really, like, again, we are talking about the best in their position. For their age, and not only just for their age, for the position itself. Because again, at the minute, I know obviously you've got Lamine Yamal currently in the world, but right now, if you were to say which one would I want, I'd want Mo Salah as my right winger. I would at the minute. Maybe don't ask me that in a year's time or 2 years' time when Lamine Yamal's absolutely destroying people left, right, and centre. But still, that's another question for another day, at least anyway. But I can't wait until the Asia pre-season tour. Yeah, like I can't wait for just training, for Liverpool, because again the content will be unbelievable for the content guys at Liverpool. So yeah, just record Frimpong, Kerkez, Wirtz, all that stuff. Yeah, we play Preston before the Asia tour. We may end up having a behind the closed door game as well. I think there was talks around that potentially happening as well. But look, at the end of the day, I don't care. The main important thing is that Florian Wirtz is a Liverpool player, and I am still on cloud nine. The fact that we've actually got him signed as well, because it's mad. The fact that all right, that the overall sense of it is like Liverpool are paying £100 million guaranteed, 16 million are in add-ons. What those 16 million are is another question in itself, because again Liverpool will there'll be some sort of Champions League clause and Premier League clause, and yeah, there was reports even of a Ballon d'Or clause, which again Florian Wirtz could potentially even get that for Liverpool. There's no it's not like he can't get it then, really. But truly, we have signed one of the best players in the world. And it's unheard of the Liverpool do that. And you look at it now, you've got Mo for 2 more years, or 2 years and beyond. You've got Virgil van Dijk, you've got Alisson in that as well. Like, we have replaced Trent's creativity with the midfield creativity with Florian Wirtz, because now when you're talking about world-class players in Liverpool's team, he's in that conversation, hands down. Like even now, he instantly becomes in the top 5 best players in the Premier League, and potentially the best 5 in the Premier League are majority of Liverpool. You've got Virgil, you've got Mo, Ali, like I mentioned, Florian Wirtz. I know for City you've got Haaland. I think Reinders will be amazing for him. But genuinely, I think Liverpool have more top-class quality players than what City do at the present moment in time. And definitely more than Arsenal as well. But look, let me know your guys' thoughts anyway on Florian Wirtz. Again, absolutely buzzing with the signing. Look, for me, I think he will be the signing of the summer, or signing of the season, sorry. And yeah, of course, for the price point, people will judge straight away, but he will be special for Liverpool. Like, we will be talking about, Kevin De Bruyne numbers, I think, by the end of his time at Liverpool. Anyway, that's going to get clipped if it doesn't work out great. But look, for me, I think he'll be absolutely boss, and he'll be completely fine for Liverpool. And look, him playing alongside Mo Salah, potentially playing just behind, Alexander Isak or Hugo Ekitike. This, it could be a lot worse for Liverpool going forward anyway. But yeah, let me just double check. There's nothing I've missed anyway in terms of the news. I don't think there is, because again, Liverpool definitely are, on cloud 9 at the minute when it comes to the signings anyway. But let me just double check if there is anything else in terms of the Liverpool news. No, there is nothing new regarding anything anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts on Florian Wirtz to Liverpool. If you are just tuning in as well, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. But I can't believe it. We have slotted Wirtz into that team that steamrolled the league as well. Yeah, and that's the thing where look, like Liverpool walked to this league title, and all right, we're going to change the way we play next season because again, Arne Slot spoke time and time again, hasn't he, about adaptability and like Liverpool will change things around. But to think we're adding like this quality to the team, and not only him, you're adding the quality of Kerkez, you're adding the quality of Frimpong. Again, Liverpool not done in terms of other signings that we're going to bring in either. Like, genuinely, Liverpool are frightening next season. I'm going to say it now. It will either be Liverpool or PSG again for the Champions League next season. It won't be Madrid because Madrid are a mess. You know, I don't care if Alonso's gone there and they've got Trent, they've got Mbappe, they've got Vinny. Again, Madrid are a mess right now. The two best teams in Europe are Liverpool and PSG. And I know PSG lost in the Club World Cup, so again, don't have that. But for me, it will be between Liverpool and PSG for the Champions League. If we don't meet up again before the final, that will be the final next year. And also, we don't get Barcelona either, because again, I do think Barcelona are a very good team, especially if they get Nico Williams as well. I think that, under Hansi Flick, by the looks of it, they're going to go with a front three of Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, and Nico Williams, which is a frightening front three, really is. So again, I think to put it more broader, I would say Liverpool, PSG, and Barcelona next season. One of these teams will win the Champions League next year, 100%. Again, I can't see anyone else winning it, in my opinion. But big up, Gary. Hearing we're going to be after a couple of centre halves. Centre backs, Hato, much admired and liked by Virgil van Dijk. Yeah, Virgil van Dijk is huge on Joel Hato. I think I can't remember who reported it, but somebody said that Van Dijk has been high on a slot to get Hato in. So yeah, of course, Virgil did also say that Darwin Núñez was a difficult striker to play against, which he is, to be fair. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say. But no, I think Joel Hato has huge potential, but you are buying that. You're buying potential over anything. But yeah, Flamengo beat Chelsea. I didn't even know that game was on. I got told by a couple of people. I think they beat them 3-1. Mental, absolutely mental. But they got that done anyway. Do you rate Anthony Gordon, Con? Yes and no. I think Anthony Gordon's a good player. But is he better than what we got? No, I don't think so. I think, like, again, people go, oh, should Liverpool sell Luis Diaz for Anthony Gordon? No, I don't think so. Because I think both offer you the same thing. Because that's the problem, right? With the left-sided, the left wing, there isn't many players on the market at the minute that are better than what we currently got. Like, again, the question for the chat, what players are out there that are better than Luis Diaz and Cody Gakpo on the left? That there isn't many. I know people will scream, Rodrigo, and there's other people that will shout other people's names, but genuinely, I don't think there are much better out there than what we currently have. I heard we were in for Keanu Hoover. Oh, Jesus Christ. What a flashback in the pan that was. Remember his was his debut against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup? I think it was back in the day. What a player. Vinicius Jr. Reckon we buy him? No. Look, Vinny's a really good player, but yeah, his attitude stinks. And judging from the counter pressing, Mark, yeah, no, Vinny Jr. couldn't do it in the Premier League. I don't think, anyway. Look, he gets battered in La Liga every single game, and tries to make everything too big for himself, really. But yeah, no, I don't think Vinicius Jr. Again, it's a good player, but not in the Premier League, in my opinion, anyway. But again, we'll have to. There'll be people who will be fuming that I've said that as well. But look, that's just my opinion. Anyway, but look, hopefully you guys have a good rest of your days anyway. We will be back tomorrow for a different episode. You guys might have seen, we did have it scheduled, but obviously with the Wirtz news and other news as well, we've been a bit busy, of course, but we are going to have a talk on Florian Wirtz a bit more. We're going to have this type of video as well for you guys taking a look at the squad for next season. We're going to have plenty of other videos coming up on the channel as well that I do have planned for you guys as well. But again, it's trying to get them up and ready for you guys. But there will be definitely a few over the weekend that do pop up as well. So make sure you do stay tuned for that. If you are new around here, please do hit the like button as well. Hit the subscribe button. And yeah, I'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow for another episode anyway. But I've been Connor from the COP Council. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ta-ra.